Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Sarakunda. This is Star TV News with me, Maimuna Fadera. In the headlines tonight, International Remembrance Day commemoration. Biram Sow of National People's Party victorious in Yamina West by-election. Yorojala of GDC elects NPP of violating campaign regulations. On the international scene, Joe Biden's election victory contested by Trump. Kosovo's president resigns to face war crimes charges. Ivory Coast opposition leader arrested for rival government. Well, those were the headlines, and now the news in details. The International Day of Remembrance is a day specifically set aside globally to celebrate and compliment the work, sacrifices and dedication made by individuals in different walks of life. In the Gambia, the day is celebrated with British High Commissioner and that of the family of the World War II veterans who fought immensely with passion to liberate the country. To the surprise of the media, the family of the veterans stood strong that they will not receive the benefits they should have received. Some even called themselves the forgotten widows. Our reporter Binta Koli was there, but Omar Job reports.
A 2-minute silence was observed in respect of the great veterans who put down their lives to salvage their respective nations. The British High Commissioner, His Excellency David Belgrove, gave the reason why the day is specifically chosen to Remembrance Day.
As we meet here in Fajara, it is fitting that we should pay a special tribute to the soldiers of West Africa whose pivotal role, bravery and courage deserves the highest recognition. Before the First World War, the Gambia, Ghana, Nigeria and Sierra Leone created local infantry units. Together they formed the Royal West Africa Frontier Force, a title made famous in the 2 World Wars.
He detailed the number of graves at the Fajara Wall and their nationalities.
This cemetery contains 203 graves from the Second World War, made up of 122 West Africans, 63 British, 2 Australian, 10 Canadian, 2 French, 2 New Zealand, 1 Norwegian and 1 Rhodesian.
He said the great work of the veterans need to be commemorated. He remembered those who volunteered, fought and lost their lives in giving freedom to its member states. Chairman Babunjai of the association, whose father took part in the World War II, said they want their people to be recognized in their efforts because they have sacrificed a lot for this country. He alleged that the people benefiting from the funds did not even take part in the war. Njai added that the Gambian legends don't even have an office to operate, and he believes there are irregularities. He believes the legends should enjoy their privileges.
Ones that are responsible, that is Gambian Legion, we contact them, and unfortunately these people, they don't have even an office. So it's one-man show. It's Pafal who is the one responsible of the Gambian Legion. He's representing people. He's the one managing the Gambian Legion, and he's the only one operating. When I call him and ask him where is your office, he said that they don't have an office. There was a time they had an office at CDS office, but nowadays they don't have office. So this will tell you that the way they operate, there is no transparency. And this transparency has to come because these people, they toil it, they went to the war, they killed themselves there, some of them died there. The ones that return, they are struggling with life, and up to now, they are not benefiting anything. Even last month, we had that funds were here for the COVID-19. But when we contact them, they say that because of the COVID, they cannot go around and pay. And most of these widows are living in Bakau and within the surroundings. They usually go to Payoro Sketa's home to claim for these funds. I think Payoro has lamented on that.
Payoro Keta, who was among the last veterans to pay respect to his fellow colleagues of World War II, said it was the biggest and deadliest war in history involving more than 30 countries. Sparked by the 1939 Nazi invasion of Poland, the war dragged on for 6 years until the Allies defeated Nazi Germany and Japan in 1945. For Star TV, I am Omar Job.
The candidate for the National People's Party, Biram J. Sow, has emerged victorious against Yoro Jala of the Gambia Democratic Congress in Nyamina West by election on Saturday by 1,716 votes to Yoro's 805 votes in replacement of the late Demba Sow's seat in Parliament. Well, Mariama Dem was at Nyamina West, and this is her report.
The Nyamina West by-election kicked off on Saturday morning as thousands, including youths and elders, casted their votes in choosing a new member of parliament for Nyamina West in replacement of the late Demba Sow of GDC, who died in January 2020. His seat has been vacant since his demise. The late Demba Sow won his seat against Malik Sow of NRP in the 2017 parliamentary election. The by-election kicked off between Biram J. Sow, candidate for the president's newly formed party known as National People's Party, and that of opposition candidate's party, the Gambia Democratic Congress. Nyamina West consists of 34 communities with an estimated population of about 10,000 people. With 4,375 registered voters, only 2,521 casted their votes in determining who to represent them in the National Assembly. Voters were excited as they casted their votes at different polling stations. While speaking to Star TV, voters said they came out to vote because it is their constitutional right and they need change in their various communities as they have been left out in terms of development. They believe that they can only achieve development through voting for the right person to represent them in Parliament. In the elections, both Yero Jalo and Biram J. Sow casted their votes in Sambangfula. Here are excerpts of what they said just after casting their votes while speaking to journalists.
I'm thanking God and my parents and the people of Nyamina West. This is not my soul alone. This is Nyamina West. They have decided to turn back to the opposition, giving their faces to the government. Because we need development now. You people are just here, you know the hardship you encountered to reach here. So we now need development, and this is what we are calling. So the whole Nyamina West are rallying behind the government because we are calling for development. We are part of this country.
One more question.
I haven't promised anybody. What I'm saying is that the NDP we are part of, and we wish that the NDP also will be executed within Nyamina West.
For the correction, like I said, always I am pretty much certain that the victory is ours and 100% confident that it's mine.
Both observers and polling presiding officers expressed satisfaction of the turnout and the peacefulness of the voters as they adhere to all the electoral regulations.
But so far this morning, the places we have visited, it seems that the election is going on very smoothly. And we can see that the voters are also very orderly. And of course, we have observed that the polling officials came to the police station on time. So, but by the end of the day, we will be able to give a very comprehensive assessment about what our impression will look like.
Absolutely, we are so happy with it. It's going as at now, it's very successful. But the turnout is okay, and then there are no violence. People are accordingly. So as at now, I am saying that we are very happy with it. Absolutely.
Alhamdulillah, the day has been successful. The voter turnout is good, and the people are complying with the rules and regulations. There has not been any chaos here. Everything has been fine.
Voting stopped at 5 p.m. and all votes were counted on the spot in a transparent manner with witnesses from both parties to avoid election fraud. Biram Sow, however, denied GDC of retaining the Nyamena West parliamentary seat by defeating his opponent Yoro Jallow by 1,716 votes to 805 votes. In another development, NPP's Awagay also emerged victorious over UDP, GDC and APRC in the local government election at Kerjarga. Here is the final results announcement from the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, Ali Momar Njai, at Janjanbureh IEC headquarters.
I, Ali Momar Njai, chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby announce the result returned from the Nyamena West constituency in Janjanbureh administrative area for the position of National Assembly member of the said constituency, as certified by the returning officer Esa Balde as follows. Yero Jallow, GDC candidate, 805 votes, 805 votes. Biram J.S. Sow, NP candidate, 1,716 votes, 1716 votes. There was one valid vote. This is all by witness and endorsed by Demba Sabali, agent for GDC, Suare Jabai, agent for GDC, SK Njai, agent for MPP, and Usman Ba, agent for MPP. Therefore, Biram J.S. Sow has been duly elected to serve as National Assembly member for Nyamena West constituency, dated the 7th day of November 2020, signed by Ali Momar Njai. Thank you very much.
Here are reactions of NPP's Sidinjai and GDC's Demba Sabali while speaking to journalists shortly after Biram's victory announcement.
Nyamena and Kerjarga, this is politics. You know, it's about numbers. You have more numbers than you will win. We have more numbers than all these parties combined. So you've seen the results. We've sent them into the deep of the Atlantic Ocean. So that is it. We are happy today.
It's the choice of the people. So on the one hand, I am sad that we have lost, but also I am proud as a Gambian that we've conducted election peacefully, and the outcome is the wish of the people, and we respect that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Biram J.S. Sow is the 6th Nyamena West Member of Parliament since 1997, and he will serve only 1 year before the National Assembly conducts its general election, which will take place just after the 2021 presidential elections. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
The GDC Nyamena West by-election candidate Yoro Jallow has alleged the National People's Party camp violating IEC's campaign regulations, saying the National People's Party continue with their campaign until late Friday night when campaign period was over, and also attacking GDC supporters on the same night. Jallow made this remark shortly after he casted his vote on Saturday at Sambang Fuller. As Maria Madem reports, Yoro Jallow feels disappointed with the IEC for allowing the National People's Party to carry on their campaign despite violating the election regulations.
Yoro Jallow illustrated disappointment with the IEC for allegedly allowing NPP to continue with their campaign even after campaign period was over. He said that it was a clear manifestation of violating campaign regulations. Jallow says he personally called the CEO of the Independent Electoral Commission to inform him of NPP going against the campaign laws, but his response was they couldn't do anything about it.
I am a little bit disappointed, good about the IEC. The reason is, IEC said campaign should have stopped at on the 5th, 12 midnight on the 5th. So yesterday we had this, we have information that the NPP guys were going around campaigning at midnight, around night, in the night time. So I called the IEC CEO, Mr. Sambujang. I called him and I gave him the report. What he told me was, look, we cannot stop them. We cannot stop them. The thing is, we are stopping the usage of PS system. I told Mr. Sambujang, that's not what you said. Then it means IEC don't understand the language that they put on paper. The language that you said, campaign should stop on the 5th. So in any form, telephone campaign, house-to-house campaign, rally campaign, or whatsoever should have been stopped. So when I gave him this info, when I reported this matter to him, this is what he responded to me. I was so disappointed, and you know, knowing that we cannot do nothing to that. Our people were home. Then everybody said, okay, since that is what they said, then we also have to go out and campaign. So our people went to Nana. They were patrolling, talking to people and things like that. So they came across, they met Sidinjai. When they met Sidinjai in there, he was so panicked. That was Sidinjai. So he called, because my guy had only one car, so he called a reinforcement from NPP. They brought about 5 pickups. A lot of people. They are not even people from Nyamina. They attacked my people and they stabbed one of my lad. That was serious. And nobody causes it. IEC is held responsible. Because they should have stopped when I gave them the report, but they refused. They said they cannot do nothing to that, and the language they put on paper was, campaign should stop on the 5th, right? But when they are going out campaigning and we give them the information and they said we cannot stop them, it means then they are lying to the people.
Biram Sow, however, refuted the allegation, saying it is untrue and groundless, nothing that GDC has been spreading false information and unfounded stories on the campaign trail.
Throughout in my house yesterday, have you seen me anywhere outside?
It was a cooling day.
They were all on their base because we were together. It's false and it's propaganda.
Meanwhile, the people of Nyamina West have chosen Biram J.S. Sow to represent them in the National Assembly in replacement of the late Demba Sow of GDC. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Mariama Dem.
Well, those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news after the short commercial break. Please, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulanding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
Welcome back. After that short commercial break, we now look at the news beyond our borders. Joe Biden has declared victory in the United States elections. Earlier, he and his running mate Kamala Harris addressed the nation from his home state of Delaware. He spoke of uniting a country that has seen deep divisions, with a pandemic and racial unrest often dominating the headlines. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump is continuing to dispute the legitimacy of Biden's election win. Al Jazeera's Kimli Halkat has more.
Addressing the nation for the first time as president-elect, Joe Biden spoke to a divided America and appealed for unity.
People of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory. We've won with the most votes ever cast on a presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million.
He promised to be president for those who voted for him and for the more than 70 million who did not.
It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again. And to make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies, they are Americans.
Wearing white in honor of the women who a century ago fought for the right for women to vote, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris acknowledged her own historic accomplishment.
The very soul of America at stake, and the world watching, you ushered in a new day for America.
In January, Harris will become America's first female and first woman of color to fill the office of vice president.
But while I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last.
Outside the White House and in cities across the United States, crowds shunned social distancing restrictions to celebrate. Biden promises, as one of his first acts as president, he will set up a commission to deal with COVID-19. But for now, Biden supporters packed the streets to mark the historical significance of the moment.
The acknowledgement of America that I care, as a black woman that I matter, speaks volumes to me.
It sends a message. People who voted for him were hoping for something different, and America decided, after seeing 4 years of it, we don't want any more.
World leaders have congratulated the president and vice president-elect. First, on Twitter, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau promised to take on the world's greatest challenges with Biden. President Trump was on the golf course when the election was called for his rival. He remains defiant and insists there have been voting irregularities. Observers were not allowed into the counting rooms. I won the election, he wrote. Trump's attorney says the campaign will keep fighting.
Gee, just about the 700,000 votes that President Trump was ahead by 2 days ago, that disappeared. And we have no way of knowing, because we were deprived of the right to inspect, if a single one of those ballots is legitimate.
Kimberly Helkett, Al Jazeera, the White House.
Kosovo's president, Hashim Thaçi, has resigned because he's facing charges of war crimes at The Hague. He's accused of murder and torture during the fight for independence from Serbia in the 1990s. Al Jazeera's Barbara Ankopa reports.
Hashim Thaçi, along with 9 other former rebel leaders, are accused of murdering nearly 100 people, including political opponents. The alleged crimes relate to the period when Thaçi was a top figure in the Kosovo Liberation Army, or the KLA. The group fought for independence from Serbia during the 1998 to 1999 Kosovo War. Thaçi says he's resigned to face trial over his role in the conflict and to shield his country from disrepute.
As I promised, I would not allow the President of the Republic of Kosovo to go to court. That is why, to protect the integrity of the presidency of Kosovo, of the state of Kosovo, and the people, and respecting the partnership with the international community, I am resigning from the post of the President of Kosovo.
More than 10,000 people were killed during the Kosovo War, and thousands more were forced from their homes. The fighting ended after a 78-day NATO air bombardment against Serbian forces. Serbian leaders faced trials for war crimes at a special international criminal court for the former Yugoslavia. But analysts say crimes were committed on both sides.
This somehow comes at the end of this struggle, and of Kosovo struggling with its recent past of accepting socially that while Kosovo has been the victim of the Milosevic-Serbia policy in the 90s, there have also been committed some crimes.
A special court at The Hague has been preparing to try suspected Kosovo war criminals since 2015. Many top Kosovo politicians who came up through the KLA have been transferred to stand trial. Hashim Thaçi's prosecution may appease people who believe justice has not been done in the decades since the war. But his supporters call Thaçi a hero and say his indictment is unfair. Barbara Angopa, Al Jazeera.
Ivory Coast opposition leader and former Prime Minister Pascal Affi-N'Guessan has been arrested for creating a rival government. President Alassane Ouattara has won a third term in office, but the opposition said they were creating a transitional council after they boycotted the polls. Ivorian prosecutors are pursuing terrorism charges against the opposition members and say they expect more arrests in the coming days. Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris reports from Abidjan, Ivory Coast.
Pascal Affi-N'Guessan is the face of Ivory Coast opposition.
It was Ngesson who announced a boycott of the presidential vote and called for a campaign of civil disobedience. As results of the presidential election were being collated, he announced a transitional council headed by former President Henri Konan Bédié. The government calls this treason.
We are focusing on those who incite people to violence. Before the calls to boycott civil disobedience in the so-called Transitional Council, there was no violence. These actions by the opposition changed everything.
Although former President Bédié appeared at opposition press briefings, the government has no plans to arrest him, at least for now. But his home is surrounded by police. The police say that's because it was there that the Transitional Council was announced.
The arrest of leaders and members has shocked the opposition, especially here in the economic capital, Abidjan. Many have gone underground to continue what they say is their demand for justice and respect for the constitution.
Isiaka Sangare is the Secretary General of Ngeson's FPI party.
We're looking for a country where everyone should respect the law, everyone should know that he has some right, but also some obligation. Our fight is for an equality in the society. We're fighting for an equity, we're fighting for justice.
The government has declared more opposition leaders wanted and said more arrests will follow in coming days. Ivory Coast presidential election was marred by violent protests since the 2016 referendum and President Alassane Ouattara's announcement that he was running for a third term. The opposition says it's illegal, but his supporters insist the constitutional amendment following the referendum cleared him to run again. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Abidjan.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. International Remembrance Day commemoration. Biram Sow of National People's Party victorious in Nyamina West by-election. Yoro Jala of GDC elects NPP of violating campaign regulations. On the international scene, Joe Biden's election victory contested by Trump. Kosovo's president resigns to face war crimes charges. Ivory Coast opposition leader arrested for rival government. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of our wonderful programs. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.